Okay, so this is video four of four. And so at one, we were in backdoor. Two, we talked about the cement wall. Three, we talked about anger. The fourth one is it might sound really odd, but it's about mindset. And it's interesting because Donna and I were like what I call in the green room, before we really hit record again. And it's funny because like, what are we going to talk about? Because what does mindset mean? But let me tell you, sometimes we think that there's two things I have, and then I want to introduce Donna to in the fourth video. But sometimes we believe that if we don't say anything bad, that we're a good citizen or that we're a good husband or wife or we're a good friend because we're just not going to tell them off. Like that means I'm a good person. Now, the issue with that is that if you believe in energy, like you can feel when somebody's mad at you. Sometimes you can even feel somebody staring at you. I mean, if you understand that we are all energy beings, you're going to feel when somebody's anxious, when somebody's angry. Now, I don't think that's too woo woo for anybody, but maybe it is. But it's about really speaking your mind. And I tell you, in video two, probably talked about being on thyroid medicine for 20 years. And new thing I want to talk about that is that I didn't realize that being on medicine for me, this is not about getting off of medicine, by the way, or getting on medicine. It's the experience that I felt like I got a veil pulled off me because all of a sudden with the thyroid medicine, it's like, don't speak a lot because this is what keeps you safe. And the medicine in itself, I'm talking real holistic here. So forgive me if you're on a learning curve of this because I would not even talk like this 10 years ago. But the thyroid medicine is saying, thyroid, don't work. Don't worry. I got your back. I'm just going to do this stuff for you, but don't you work anymore because I got your back. And so in me, it was kind of holding the space of my thyroid not working, but the medicine was, doing whatever it was doing. And then I recognized that when I said, I'm not going to take it anymore, there was reasons why, that I started recognizing that more things were coming out and I was saying stuff. And I learned that I had to learn what emotional IQ meant even more. And so I think the mindset, what we want to talk about is what we're learning when we start actually speaking our voice or when we're not. And we think we're really good because we're not telling somebody something that we really care about or to ourselves. We're just like, not going to say anything at all because I'm going to be good. I'm not going to be, bitch and tell them something. But you start recognizing that you can show up differently and share everything with through your heart. And that's the mindset journey. That's like an emotional IQ. Donna, for you in this whole mindset area, am I starting to go in an area where you want to add something in about your journey and just feeling this out for you about what mindset means to you and what you're learning?
Well, this is the one video that when you told me what it was that I had a challenge with because it's like mindset. What do I do with that one? But for me, I've learned that though there's a part of me that just like I want to be by myself. I was an only child, so it's like I want to just be myself. But I just recently really realized how much the connection with other people meant to me over my whole life. And it's learning that mindset. I mean, that's why way back I went into accounting because it's like, just stick me at a desk in the corner, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be around people. But everything, when you and I had the coaching session the other day, and we did the timeline, and you talked to me and asked me the questions about the good things that happened in my life, they all had a connection to people.
Isn't that interesting?
And it's like, wow, I guess people mean more to me. And, I have great gratitude for people. When John passed, that was the one thing I really learned was gratitude. And so I appreciate the people in my life a lot more than I probably did before. And I only wish that John would have been here to have gotten some of that goodness, but I had to learn it after he passed.
Yeah.
But there's that connection, and how can I say things to people or even to myself to help people along, but doing it more of a loving way and not just like blasting it at them. I mean, even myself, I've done that to myself so much where it's like, well, that was really stupid, or whatever. And
Be nicer to yourself.
yeah, but one of the things you taught me was like, instead of coming from all up here, coming from your heart.
Yeah.
And so part of that mindset is like, let the mind have a break, and it's like come from the heart, and then have that flow out. And I mean, we're all human. I mean, we have our days where that's not going to happen quite so well. But I am learning that, yeah, I mean, when I can do that, it's the whole thing where you can. I don't know if I want to catch flies, but you can catch things more with honey than you can with vinegar in the sense of.
I love how
And
you say that. And these videos are really about just the case study of a person spending time going through this emotional journey around health and wellness. Because 9 years ago when we got together, you had no idea that we're going to be tapping into your mind. You're like, "Oh, give me the stuff, the process. Let's get this. Let's get." I'm eating a lot of this. I want to change it and things like that. And then it got deeper and deeper. And you're like, "Oh, here, wait." You're tapping into something here. Is that might not be okay. Like it was like this whole learning journey of like what, and I was learning it too. I'm like, oh, for some reason it just brought me into that space, and it taught me a lot about growing also. And so we learned a lot. Or you're because we get shut down and we just don't know the true us. And so I hear as a coach, I hear a lot of people say people don't change, and it's like I don't see that we're ever trying to change somebody. I see it, and this probably happened maybe this year. I started thinking about it more. That it's really about that you were just trying to get to the pure you. So any of your biases, beliefs that you want to combat with people, I always wonder if you knew why you had that belief, where it came from, is it still really serving you, or is it just that it's just a dial on your brain that's just this cycle and you're just fighting and fighting? Because we can talk about politics, we could talk about relationships, we can talk about all this stuff, and you can find reasons to fight in all the different buckets. But how do you kind of grow emotionally if you stay in those same buckets fighting the same stuff robotically? Is it truly you, or is it something you want to go here? Wait, if I looked at the innocent me before I started really getting these things in my mind that this is how it is, what would be different? And is this really me showing up today, or is this just my patterns? So I don't feel like I'm really changing anybody. I don't think that's what the journey is. I think the journey is to remember who you really are, and then you start pulling it off, and your emotional IQ kind of matches up with really, I think it's like a baby. Like you're just like, oh, hey, things are really cool, but you're the wise of the years of being here on earth. I really do. I see it differently because I just didn't realize how lonely I was as a person that was coaching and really just I realized I was lonely for a while there. I didn't know it. And so when we talk about community for you, it's like, here, wait, yeah, that's like important to me because we did this timeline of all the positive stuff that happened. And when you're doing that, it's really cool because we learned that, Donna, for you, you like somebody that's around you that's a listener because you like to listen to people. You like people with humor because you love being around just laughing and relaxing. It makes you happy. And then family, community, like we said, somebody who's wise, somebody who's been reading some books, really knows what's going on. And then intelligence. Oh, that was book. Wise was more just about like living and the experience around that. And then also, I think there was another one too, Donna, but I don't know. All I have is F. Oh, feel. Maybe somebody who kind of can feel who they are or emotions. Because all I have is FEEL, and I had nothing else to it. But what was that discovery about us starting to put that together for you and start going? oh, that really is me. That's not just who I'm asking of, but that really reflects your growth too of what is important to you.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing might have been more because I like hugs. I didn't like them as a kid because I didn't grow up that way.
Yes.
But but the some of my family and my husband and that's where I learned to really like hugs. And that is one of the things that I miss without John being here because he was my bear hugger.
Oh,
So, and
you could feel that love, Mama. You could feel that love.
yep. So, but it everything is a mindset. And the one thing the last 5 years since John is almost 5 years that John's been gone, is the mindset is like, how can I still grow? Because I felt that John's passing was then meant for me to grow, and that part of this journey without him is how do I grow? How do I change some of my mindsets so that I don't get just stuck and sit in a corner someplace and do nothing.
Yeah. This mindset stuff is pretty tricky because sometimes we just don't want to grow, and it's not a bad thing. And I said it in the way that it could be kind of misconstrued, but sometimes it's easier. Like you think it is. Like I'm just going to sit here because I know that cycle and I feel yucky and I want this to change, but that's as far as it goes because you just feel so comfortable in that pit. And growth is you got to allow yourself to feel vulnerable and raw. And it's like, do I really want to go there? But you notice if you sit with it, and there's no way I could explain this 15 years ago when I started doing this stuff. Why do I want to sit in that? Like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. And it felt like such a big concept. So I noticed as a coach, I wanted to give people the experience of as they're being coached, sitting in whatever they were working through and just letting that space hold, just being quiet or asking them just to sit with it. That, oh my God, I'm asking them to sit in their fear. But then you watch the entryway into the coaching to them exiting, what a big lift you can see off their body, and I think that concept changed the way I approached like our coaching together. I was like, oh, if I do that, then Donna actually gets to right in front here with me watching, not alone, sitting in this and just being quiet. And it's like, well, I want to keep talking. It's like, yeah, but if you just sit, ooh, I don't want to. Okay, you're right. You're telling me to sit. Like it's like I want to get up. You're like, oh, and I'm like, no, just be with it. And that's one of the hardest things. And that's what's great about mindset is that the fear, if you let it sit, you get to see the other side and you stop running so big.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's well, this little piece. I mean, could link on to the third one about the third video about fear and anger but when John was sick just before he went in the hospital and that sometimes I would get so mad at him and that I mean my dear son was going like break it up
It was that big, Donna?
yeah, break it up. I mean we weren't like fisticuffs but we were
No, but I mean, if you even did that, you'd be able to beat John at that point because he was getting so weak. It was more like a mental
yeah.
game.
But I realized later on with that whole mindset thing, taking the time out and thinking about it, it's because I felt a lot of guilt after John passed away. And it's like, why did I do that? It was because I was scared to death. I mean, I was really scared because the timing and everything. And here's a man who was not doing well and things were slowing down. So not just him physically, but the whole medical thing was slowing down during that time.
Yeah.
And it's like they were asking me, "Well, you do these things." It's like I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a medical person. Yeah, and
Right. Yeah. Because even getting in and after he left the home, you're never able to see him again. Because here in Sacramento, that was what their protocol was. Like, oh, no, here's a video. You can watch him, but it was, you never got to be with him again.
Yeah. So there's a lot of guilt from that. But yeah, but it took me a while to realize that when I was yelling at him when he was still at home was because I was really scared, because I thought, oh my gosh, what is going to happen?
And I'm so glad that you had this tenaciousness in you to just like, I'm going to call 911. No, it's okay. No, I am. And you did it. You did it. And you think about the growth that you had to do within that short period of time of John calling the a lot of the calls when you guys were together to like, oh, hold on here. and and another call that you did where you overrode John was the 9 years ago when you decided to work with me. Like there were points in your life where you're like, oh, hold on here, John. And you took that. There's some reason why we're together, huh, Donna? There's just something.
Yep. That it was meant to be. And yeah, because I remember telling John, well, I'll just take the money out of my retirement and do it.
He's like, dang it. Well, I love you, Donna, and I appreciate you so much. I appreciate that you want this experience of documenting it. It means so much to me to be able just to reflect in the space, of what you learned and what I've learned and what it takes really to be on your side and what you're learning. And maybe we should talk about the hashtag speaker locking arms, how you're really launching this local vision of what we're doing, which I call this a global vision of us being able to stop the blaming and shaming. As I'm a speaker and I help speakers get out there and I want to partner with other people. And what are you doing? We have the local branch around here in Sacramento where we want to get out and see how people are doing, help them feel good, just like around this mindset stuff, just like making them feel good for half an hour to 45 minutes and be in their space, kind of playing with them in a way of just like checking in on them.
Yeah, to be seen and heard.
Yeah. Are you excited about getting this branch going, this local branch?
Yes, I am. And I don't think that I'm not a little scared, because I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat, but the excitement is more than the scared factor in this case. So
that's good. That means we're going to be successful, Donna. Yeah, so we're partnering together, everybody. So if you have somewhere that's kind of, and I'll go out. I'm gonna go places in San Luis Obispo because that is a special area for me. But I'll go all the way out to San Francisco. I have some speakers and coaches out there that are like, oh, hey, I want to partner with you on this. That's what I call hashtag speaker locking arms. I hashtag it so you can find it in different areas of social media. But if you're around, you're going to want to connect with Donna, and there'll be information in the video where you can find her. We'll figure out the best way to contact Donna so that we can get things booked and all that kind of stuff. So, and we'll have an opt-in too if you want to track of like what we're doing out there, because I'll be writing to the newsletter, but there'll be a special group that I'm putting together, and I'm putting the page together so you can click the link and opt in, and you can be in the newsletter specifically just for that. So, yeah, we're going to do some great things, Donna. Woohoo!
Looking forward to it. Woohoo!
Video 4, make sure that you check video 1, 2, 3, and get to 4, because the whole growth, what we're talking about in all the different areas, you're going to love it if you are in this mindset growth. I call it mindset transformation entertainment. I hope we entertained you, because this is where you get to start looking at where you're stuck, and just being relaxed and entertained in the process of conversation helps you open up more. So love you, everyone, and appreciate you. Thanks, Donna, for showing up today.
Thank you to everybody.
Bye-bye.